Hello and welcome to the manager overview of the dashboard. The dashboard is a simple item within Influence FM when you first open it up as a manager that gives you a snapshot of what's going on within your sales organization for the week. You're going to notice that the dashboard lines up from left to right. It starts with the sales and the sales period. It will always give you the calendar for the day with which you are in it or excuse me, the week for which you are in. Weekly asks, that's the total number of asks that you have across your sales reps for the organization for the week. These are the annualized numbers. No, these are not what the weekly or the monthly total is. This is the total value of the contract. So in this case, at 492,976, what we're looking at is that is comprised of total annual as well as short-term buys. How do we know that? Well, if we click on it, we're simply able to see who is asking for what this week. So in our case, with each rep, as you'll see this broken down, you will see the rep today, for instance, Crystal with Little Caesars and Taco Bell on her closing list. Lisa with Chong Service Chong Service Center, Silver State Components, Birds Mobile RV. They are all set for ask today. Well, what's going on for the rest of the week? Well, here are our future asks for the rest of the week. And they are also broken down by each rep individually. That is a simple snapshot of what's making up your total asks for the week. If we want to drill down even further on these asks, we have two ways of doing this. We can go back to the sales and click on the sales, and that will give us, we can go back to the sales and click on the sales, and that will give us an overview again. But this breaks it down into how many sales we have left and how many sales are pending. Now, you may say to yourself, what's the difference between sales left and sales pending? Very simple. Sales left is a brand new sale, a sale we haven't asked for before. This is a new annual, a new presentation. Whereas a sales pending is a follow-up sale, meaning that we went out last week, the week before, 2 months ago, whatever the case may be, and we presented a schedule, and they asked us for time to think about it, talk to their wife or partner, asked for time for follow-up. So we come back, and that is the sales pending category or sales follow-up. All of these are fairly self-explanatory. Sales missed, that means the sales we didn't sign this week. What have we signed? That falls under sales sold. And if we have the unfortunate situation of having a cancellation, that would also fall into the cancellation category. So as we see thus far for this week on this particular company, we have already had $118,000 that are left in new. Out of that, 78,000 should close based on projected sales. Now, where does that number come from? That number comes from the rep's belief on the opportunity to close it. Do I have a 10% chance, a 40% chance, a 99% chance? Obviously, the higher they feel the probability of close is, the higher the dollar is going to show in the sales projected. So if we go back to Crystal with her sales left of 9,600 and sales projected of 7,200, that tells us that Crystal has a confidence level on that particular sales left of 80%. What if I want to break this down further? Well, it's very simple actually. We can move on to any rep and hit the hyperlink of their name in blue to find out exactly what their week looks like and what type of appointment it is. Remember, in the system, when you're going through the dashboard, if something is blue, you can click on it. So we can see with my website store that she has already sold it. If I wanted to see further on that, I can actually click on my website store. It brings up her account while not taking me away from the sales activity report. I can see she had a schedule, try to schedule date, meet with Tara, get signature, start her commercials. Pretty basic. Did she do it? She certainly did. My website store is signed to schedule on 10X Rock 99.9. So she has gone through, made that sale for 7,200. How do I know? It was an annual contract. It was $7,200 and it was for 12 months. Does she have a what's next? Absolutely, she does. She's going to do a copy call on 411 to work on new spots for Tara at my website store. So, again, this information is literally the Salesforce activity put into a very simple overall grouping on the dashboard. Weekly asks, the same way. Weekly sold, as you can see from the pop up, it tracks week to week. And if I want to see further on the week to week, I can go out and take a look at the time periods and what we have been selling over the course of the last few weeks. Now, in this particular case, we can see that we were averaging anywhere from 74,000 to 102,000. Our 4 week average is 91,000. Our 12 week average is 63,000. And over the course of the last year, we averaged just under 50,000 a week in asks. In sales, not necessarily asks. These are sales made. Obviously, the asks are what get us there. Moving forward, what if I want to break this down even further? Well, managers, it's pretty simple. You have an overall view, which is called Salesforce activity. Basically, it is taking exactly what we looked at with a quick click to the dashboard and giving us just a little more detailed information. So along the Salesforce activity, we're still able to do the same thing. Click on Crystal and look at her activities for the week, what she's completed, what she still has left, total sales, who the sales are with. Or we can go over into the tasks section and we can see what she has from a quick viewpoint. These are sales related activities. Cold calls. Crystal is done 2. She's got 6 left for the week. CNAs, she's got 1 left. She's completed 1. Presentations. In our world, presentations isn't sitting in front of the client. That's a CNA, customer needs analysis. Presentation is putting together the presentation to take out to the customer. Closings. How many closings does she have left? Well, she has 1. She has 1 that's not sold. And thus far, she's had 0 cancellations on closing calls. Follow-up closings. That's another item. Again, remember, closings, we've never done the presentation before. Follow-up closings means we're going back after we did the initial presentation. And maybe this is our 3rd, 4th, or 5th follow-up. But that's where these fall into in the follow-up closing category. Not sold. She has 2 of them who said, no, thank you. She's got 1 contract signed. We can see that for each and every one of our reps. If we want to look at her calendar detail or any other calendar detail, all of the activities that they have for the week sit on their calendar. Anything that is in dark green means that it has been completed already for the week. Anything that's left over in a color other than dark green means that it's left to be completed. So she has a CNA to complete for Wet Monkey, as well as what happened with the annual closing call. She's got a meeting request. We can see that's in blue, so that's done by telephone. She has a closing follow-up, which is a to-do for her to send out an email. She has precision coatings, which she is going by to see in person, and that is why it is white. Again, when you look at influence, remember, anything in green means they've completed it. If it is sold, it's in the sold category. And if you're looking for what their confidence is, it sits under the confidence level. This is a very simple snapshot for you to find out exactly what's going on with any sales rep or marketing executive at any time. If you wanted to drill down further, if you guys are working campaigns and want to know what campaigns you're selling, they would be right here. For instance, in our organization, coming up next month, we are going to have our summer safety campaign. So all of the activities for summer safety would be listed here, as long as they are adding summer safety to the calendar when they're scheduling the appointment. Objections simply tell us, plain and simple, what are they experiencing while they're out there. This is a snapshot. And again, Folks, this really gives you an idea of what your reps are up against in very short term. Contract is too expensive. Amanda Wallace had one of those. When we're taking a look at faxed it or emailed it to me, and I'll get back to you when I'm ready. Crystal's had one of those. I've got to check with my partner or wife. We had one of those from Lisa, and let me think it over, which also could be let me check with my partner or wife, and a multitude of other objections. It also has one from Tracy. So when we're looking at these, what this helps us understand is what to train our reps on as we're moving forward. Do we have to talk about why radio has value in the ROI? What is it that's going to change when I email it to you versus me presenting it to you in person? I've got to check with my wife, partner, or husband. Absolutely. What concerns do you think they might have? Again, this creates that opportunity for training. I can look at it in a snapshot, and come the end of the day, when I take a look at what sold, what didn't, what I may have been on as far as a closing or what I haven't, I'm able to turn to this and now talk to them about each and every objection that comes their way. Again, folks, this is the dashboard, Salesforce activity. Very easy, gives you a snapshot of how you want to manage your reps and see what kind of activities they have going for the week, for the month, or if you want to see what they did for the year. And again, this calendar up top is just as important as the calendar the reps are using. Because if I want to see how the month of March has played out, I can change this view from 3/1 to 3/17 instead of 3/11 to 3/17. I can see what we've asked for, how much we've signed as a toll, and for the month of March, 173,000. I can see that our closing ratio is a little bit underneath where I like us to be, which is about a third of our closing calls. We're at 23%. However, our dollar mix has gone up. We've gotten about 53% of our dollars, even though only 23% of the sales. That means we're taking advantage of upsell opportunities when we're sitting in front of the client. Again, every business is going to look at this different. You're going to use the numbers the way you want to use them, but they're there for you at a snapshot. So is drilling down on each rep and each office within Influence. I'll be back with the next training. We'll see you there.